be further ahead than what they are. They're taking the game on, but not with run, but with deliberate short passing. They're cutting through Druin quite nicely. Funnily enough, I think Druin look a bit more dangerous when they're inside their forward 50, but they're just not getting it there the number of times they need to, as this second quarter is just about to start. Druin need to, knowing that the deeper they get into games, normally the stats say the less likely they are to win. They need to get a wriggle on right now.
Well, Keenan Hines is playing on a wing, but will probably float back to a loose man across that half back line. A quick kick out from the middle, went away from Collins. He got it to his half forward line. Bob McCullum followed up, tapped it towards the top of his 50. Hines went in hard. So did Collins again after following that kick up. The ball's still in dispute. No one can really take it cleanly. McCullum finally did, and he kicked it out wide, going back with a flight there. Nicely done. Was it Tommy Barr? It is. So he'll have a shot on goal inside forward 50. It just persisted with the ball moving in a Druin direction. Allowed McCullum in the end to pick it up, and just a scrappy sort of move forward. Eventually got a shot on goal, Boxer.
They did. Yes, they did, mate. I'm just trying to get you some scores here from around the grounds too, thanks to Harvey Norman.
All right. Well, Tommy Barr comes in, left foot shot on goal, leans back on it, gets back to go left to right, and gets the first one inside the first minute for the Hawks. A much needed one.
And that is on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard for the second quarter. We have Druin 3-5-23. They trail by 5 points. Bairnsdale sitting on 4-4-28.
Just some quick quarter time scores from around the ground. Morwell 1-2-8. They lead Maffra 4 straight points.
Oh, jeez.
Upset brewing.
Well, you never know, do you? Well, we did say they'd need to upset someone. I didn't think it would be Maffra, but they've got off to a dream start. Long way to go. We know that, but you can only play the footy you've played in the first 30 minutes as good as has this game been between Druin and Bairnsdale. Wykes, the big man, he kicked it, attempted to kick it off the ground, butted up nicely, and then little Flea Brigade, off they go again. This time it's done through Callan McKeon, who goes towards right half forward flank. Leg was nice. Dennison was equal to it. Can he find a teammate? Went looking for Link, and that's the Robinson variety. Punched over the boundary line, just metres from Bairnsdale's goals. They're kicking away from the town. They're kicking to the scoreboard end, and they lead at the moment by just 5 points.
So Keenan Hines has that right thigh strapped. I just may have worked out what that issue might be. It might be high in the glute area.
Oh.
Just feeling for it. As quickly running onto this. Here we go. Dr. Riviera next to me, Nick Lucchino.
I think it's a corky.
He just grabbed his his right glute, and I reckon it's high up in his hamstring. That's just giving him a little bit of grief because he is an important player to this side. McCullum tapped it down, nicely done by Robinson. Link up handball inboard to Nathan Guy. Eventually got it out wide there to Dower. He found a target out there in Tommy Barr, who's outside his defensive 50, kicks along the line. Big spoil there was from the defender in Somerville to cause a stoppage. The coaching staff from Bairnsdale, there's 8 of them on the boundary line. They like it.
I'll give you some quick scores from around the grounds too, Daryl. Wonthaggi 1-3-9. They trail Moe 2-3-15. And Traralgon 3 straight 18. They trail from against Sale 4-2-26.
So the Magpies are looking to claim that top spot again. They'll need to beat Traralgon today. The ball at the moment left half forward flank. Bairnsdale into attack. Let's see, McCullum gets front spot, gets a nice tap away too. Can he find a teammate? Can't get it cleanly, and the pressure is now on. Hines puts himself over the ball, can't take the ball, gets pushed out of the contest, and the race is on. Winning the race, Bairnsdale. They got the numbers 2 through Grove, and then he gives it over to Radford. Right foot kick, can it threaten forward 50? It can, but they can't take the ball, and all players are beaten to it by the boundary. 60 metres from Bairnsdale's goals. The score is 5 points in favour of the home side in Bairnsdale.
Yeah, right in front of the past players bar here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Bairnsdale. It's great to have your company on TOFM. This is round 13. From that stoppage there, the Hawks win it. Barr was there. Handballs over the top to Rose. Just left it behind, then put on a strong tackle on Sean Wyatt. Now coming off the half-back was Robinson. Drove it back to the inside forward 50. Dennison was there. It come off his shoulder. Anderson has a little bit of work to do for the Hawks. Goes to ground. This time it's Miller coming in. Coughed it up, though. Quick kick from Tommy Bryan to the open side. It's a foot race. Byron Vickery will be the first one to get there. Gets around his opponent. There's lots of Hawks now, and they nearly give away a free kick. Working hard inside there was Robinson. who has squeezed his way forward. And we'll have a stoppage 40 metres out. Here's Rob Popplestone on TRFM.
So inside forward 50, Link Anderson couldn't get the ball, and it's kicked out of defensive 50 now. It's all in fact, it's all Bairnsdale, obviously, who are doing some really good work. And that player, Ricky Tatnell, got on the end of it, and he'll kick from 55 out, so he'll put it into the danger zone, top of the square. Can he find a winner here? A pack of 4 or 5. Bulmer flew high, couldn't take the ball, but nonetheless, they've got some numbers and a quick kick off the ground by Dennison. Can you believe it? Nicely done, Nathan Dennison. Get their first of the second quarter, and they extend that lead back to the Magic 11.
Geez, they worked hard for that goal, Bairnsdale. They had the ball inside their forward 50 there for a good few minutes, and with no real reward. But Dennison, who's really been that eye-catching hit up forward for Bairnsdale, he's been that one that he's taken a couple of great marks in that first quarter and in the right spot at the right time there for the Redlegs.
With a goal apiece this quarter, that 11-point quarter-time margin is retained. 5 minutes into the second quarter, Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. Bairnsdale 5-4-34, Druin 3-5-23.
Wykes got up high early, but in the end tapped it straight down. McKeon gave it to Cowan. Now Axford comes in to help. Kingy was there. Nicely done. Little sidestep. Axford didn't have possession of the ball. The umpire scored a throw. Axford didn't have possession of the football. It goes the other way. Waddell was the one who kicked it. Preston it was. Half forward. Cowan works hard. Lost the football. Umpire said play on. And the Hawks are filthy. They cop one the other way. And then they get one taken against them as well.
So that was the umpire off the play too. So he found that free kick.
To Miller.
So Miller, left half back flank, comes grandstand side in front of the TRFM commentary position where they find Sam Klebney. Klebney sort of starts to direct it in towards the corridor. They've got some numbers here, and they could be dangerous through. Todd Beck kicks. The kick is poor. Tumbling punt falls in the arms of Harry Gibbs. With the Druin goals 30 metres behind him. He's got plenty of room to move here. He finds Vickery. Vickery's got a couple of options too. He just has to work out which one's the best.
Yeah, there's lots, isn't there?
There's 3 or 4. There's a bit of room to move, but it's pretty stagnant. Now upfield, so he goes long. The contest is 1-on-1. Out the back, they might have a runner. They have. Who's that runner?
Bulmer.
I reckon the runner is Bulmer. He runs to 55. He's got his teammate in the right position. Can his teammate move? And I spoke of Dennison, who kicked the last. He can't. It's punched over the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw in right in front of the scoreboard that reads Bairnsdale 5-4-34, Druin 3-5-23.
Poppy, it's one of those things there. He just didn't have any body contact.
Yeah. The
ball was travelling. Dennison just should have nudged him off the ball so he got his hands to it.
Ball comes back into theatre play. Doing the ruck work back there was Robinson. Had a bit of a fresh airy. Dower gave it by hands backwards to Anderson, who kicks it high up and down. Robinson in the front spot. Didn't get there. McKinnon handballs over the top. Going down was Giovi. Tries to handball out when he's sitting down on the ground. Clayton King, and then he puts a tackle on. And how did
he claimed him too high and he was sitting on the ground.
Liam Giovi got him high as he was sitting on the ground. Turnover. They're going back forward again, the Redlegs. Cowan will have it top of the 50.
Goal.
49 metres. Left foot is missing.
Oh, no.
One of the best kicks in the comp. His left foot is raking, but that time it was skewed.
And taking Bairnsdale to 5-5-35, a 2-goal lead over Druin on the Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. Druin 3-5-23.
Wens comes grandstand side looking for McCallum or Robinson. It's always going to be McCallum. Had his name written on it. He goes short there. He uses the ball well, doesn't he, the big fella? Todd Beck's the player there. They've got some room to wiggle now. Liam Axford spins the wheels and off he goes. Gives it off to his teammate in Joe Collins. Kicks long, threatens 50. Probably should have taken the mark there at the end. Falls to the ground, and the bloke with the ball is Jacob Simpson. Kick to the top of the square. The race is on. Hamilton says, nope, won't be risking that. Punch it through for a behind. Druin edge 1 point closer.
He had 40 metres of paddock there. He had no one to give it to, and he went for an upside down dribble and tumble punt, and nothing really worked in his favour.
Druin 3-6-24, Bairnsdale 5-5-35.
Kick back in. Big fly. Tatnell in the front spot. Comes front and square. Wykes was there. Quickly tackled by Beck. Doing some ground work. He does it well, Big Bob McCullum. Now Barr handballed over the top, but Mighty McKeon quickly ran onto it. Works hard underground. He is a Tunnelrat contender, of course. And if our great man Brenton Wonga White was here, he'd be putting him in to that Tunnelrat club. Very good afternoon to you, Wonga.
I'm going to try and squeeze out some scores in the North Gippsland Football League as we go along as well, guys.
All right.
Probably could have given them rather than just warning. Anyway, the ball's now inside forward 50. Drawing a quick kick forward. Can it be stopped right 10 metres from goals? It can't. I reckon the umpire will take control. He does. He'll bounce it down 15 metres in front of Druin's goals. The visitors at the moment trailing by 11 points.
Ball goes up. McCullum does well. Little kick out of that ruck.
Go, Boxer, go.
Okay, I'm going to try and get one out. Rosedale 2-3-15. They trail TTU 3-3-21. Paul?
3-7-25 Druin, trailing Bairnsdale 5-5-35.
Hamilton has just kicked a barrel that's landed in the centre of the circle. And the Redlegs, they've got some numbers. If they can kick it forward, it's going to go out there towards the Bulmer direction. Top of the 50, Hambles over the top to Dennison. Preston is there as well. The Hawks come in. Now Preston has it, knocks it forward. Going to kick around his body, the first gamer. Not the best of left foot. It goes in that direction, but it's going over for a boundary throw-in. And apologies to Jason Waddell. He's the one that's working hard.
He kicks like his little brother, that bloke.
What a kick by Hamilton, mate. What a kick by Hamilton.
A Torrey out of fullback that landed in the centre circle.
All right, so the ball now just 10 metres from Bairnsdale's goals. They've got a long injury list, as have Druin, but I tell you what, there's some
good game
flair about this Bairnsdale side. They're having a go. Some of the new faces are doing their bit. Race is on at the moment. I reckon they're going to be beaten by the boundary. They are. The boundary umpire will throw this one in 40 metres from Bairnsdale's goals.
In other games in North Kibby, Yarram 6-5-41. They lead Glengarry just a single point. Cower 5-2-32. They are trailing Churchill 6-1-37. And Hayfield 2-1-13. They lead Woodside 1-4-10.
In the AFL, the Tigers lead the Port by 23 points and Carlton lead the Suns by 20 points. The two AFL games. We've got a quick shot on goal there, Poppy.
Yeah, we have indeed. Just offline, unfortunately, for Bairnsdale, so another minus score.
It's an 11-point lead to Bairnsdale, 5-6-36 to Druin, 3-7-25.
Wans will bring the ball back in for the visitors. Druin, they'll come grandstand side. Willie, no, I reckon he's going to go straight down the guards. He does. McCallum straight down the guards. Can't take the ball. Who's going to be first player there? I reckon it could have been Tom Bryan. Anyway, he busts the pack open and he found his teammate, the talented Keenan Hines.
He's going to have a go.
And Hines, well, he's going to go short, left foot, right foot, doesn't matter for him, but every foot will find a teammate. And this one found a teammate 45 metres from goals.
I think it's Giovi.
Giovi, is it? Can't pick the number from here. He's side on. But I'll tell you this, he'll kick probably right on the arc of 50.
I'm going to go with Giovi.
All right, let's give it to Giovi for a moment.
A defender who's just rolled up to the contest.
So he'll kick from right on 50. In fact, he runs to 48 probably. Off the boot, bit of height, might fall short. Does by a metre. McCallum got first hands to it.
Sean Wyatt
through. I reckon he may have snuck that off the pack. He did too. Can you believe that? Sean Wyatt, bang, like a rat on a piece of cheese. He snatched it, avoided the trap, and kicked the goal. Nice work, Bairnsdale. The lead is extending.
And I think it's happened again too, where Druin have had 4 players go up for the contest, including Bob McCullum. 1 player goes up for Bairnsdale, the rest stay down. White's in the perfect spot, gets the goal right on the goal line. Another lead there too to Bairnsdale too, so great goal.
That's a match high margin of 17 points in Bairnsdale's favour, 6-6-42, 3-7-25 Druin, Greenham Gippsland scoreboard.
McCullum, a beautiful tap down to Robertson, who gave it to Beck, who does an upside down drop punt inside forward 50. Tough to mark. Back there was the defenders. Good work by White. It was no. I'll get that one out in a moment. Looked to be Gibbs. It was the one I was trying to work on. The defender did well in the end. We've got a boundary throw in.
We've got a game down at Morwell Rec today in the AFLW game.
We do.
Collingwood, it's half time there. Collingwood lead 4-2-26. They lead Melbourne Uni 2-3-15.
The VFLW.
VFLW, apologies.
AFL kicks off a little bit later on in the year.
Yep.
Ball was back into play. Cowan just handballed to a voice, and that voice there was McKinnon. He tried to keep it in. Beck does well. Took on the tackle of Tommy Bryan. The crowd say, "Come on, umpire," holding the ball. And the umpire says, "I'm doing this. You look after your job. We'll ball it up." 70 metres out from the goals as McCullum tapped it down. It was Druin's goals I talk about. Kicked off the ground there from Cowan. And we have a boundary throw-in. 14 minutes gone. The margin is 17 points.
And the ball at the moment, left half forward flank, Druin into attack. McCullum will do the ruck work. He'll do it against young Joshua Whites. Let's see how they vie for position. The young bloke against the experienced campaigner. The young bloke got good position, nicely done. Tapped and he found his teammate in Waddell, who's quick kick forward, falls over the boundary line, smack bang at right half forward flank for Bensdale.
Quick around the ground check. Gippsland Power, the under-18s, had a big win. 14 goals, 10. 94 have defeated the Tassie Devils 6-8-44. And a massive 50-point win there with 10 of their last 11 goals running out really strong there for the Power Boys. Back on the winners list.
Yeah, there's a big margin there. There's a building margin here as Bensdale have got a lead of 17 points. And they're going forward again on the end of it. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Tommy Bryan. Can't get a handle on it. Coming in to lend a hand is Robertson. Can't be taken. Well, he can't take the ball. He can be taken, and he was, which didn't allow him to spit the ball out, and there'll be a boundary throw in inside forward 50 for Bensdale.
McCullum tried the clearing tap out, didn't quite get a decent handle on it, and neither did Robinson, who he got tackled quickly. We'll have another stoppage, top of the 50. Second quarter, 15 minutes have gone, and the margin is 17 points. Cowan from that stoppage. Kick was partially smothered. Robinson grabbed it for the Hawks, drove it towards the wing area, searching long lead. Ferguson couldn't get it. Wykes was there to repel it back in the forward half for Bairnsdale. Coming out to meet it nicely was Radford. Inboard to Sean White, who lowers the eyes and found Dennison. Under a little bit of pressure from Leon Anderson, but he had strong hands, did Nathan Dennison.
And you know what I liked about that kickboxer? The fact that he didn't try to drill the player. He popped it up and let the leading player run onto the ball.
It was a great build-up there. Yeah, it was a great build-up there by Bairnsdale. They just used the ball really well.
As Dennison got his leg, and he handballs off to Kieran Hines, who unloads from 50.
Yes, sirree.
And puts it through. Scud gives the fist pump to the crowd.
There is nothing wrong with his any tissue damage that leg. It's got to be a corky. There's no way you can kick 55 and have some sort of soft tissue injury.
Where do you get a corky?
In the leg.
In your soft tissue muscle.
Mate,
fair enough.
Okay. Paul,
Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. The margin now out to 23 points in Bairnsdale's favour. We're at the 17-minute mark of the second quarter. The Red led 7-6-48 to Druin 3-7-25.
So the friction builds on the ground. The friction builds in the commentary box as we hit the 17-minute mark. A boxer grabs me on the backside that tried to put me off. In fact, that's inspired me to go harder and faster, and going hard and fast at the same time is Jason Waddell, who kicks within 10 metres of goals, and it lands with number 10 for Bensdale, Sean White, who all of a sudden can extend this lead to a very impressive 30-plus points. Can you believe that? We wouldn't have picked that.
Jason Waddell.
A moment ago, in fact, nearly 30 points.
Jason Waddell's missed a bit of senior football, but he's still got some wheels. He's turning back the clock. Wyatt comes in, slams it home, no doubt about that one. An easy one for Sean, and that's his second, and the second of the quarter for him.
Well, there's some worrying signs now for Druin, Poppy, and I was going to use that word that started with O and finishes with S, but I'm a bit worried about using it, so a bit gun shy.
Erroneous.
Yes, but
erroneous.
But right now, they've just stopped. Bairnsdale are really on a high here. They've used the ball beautifully going inside 50.
And it's a 29-point margin. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard 8-6 Bairnsdale, 3-7 Druin.
Well, now Harrison Cook, the first gamer, takes his duties in the ruck. Cowan was there. He's looking for the searching handball backwards. Found the teammate in Vickery. Gets it to the open space. Tatnall's out there. Gets around. Goes to ground. Does Tommy Barr. Then Tatnall hugs the boundary line. Oh, Byron Vickery landed awkwardly. And he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And this it could be one of those hip or groin area. He landed really awkward. It was a fair contest from Liam Anderson, just in the contest, but he's in enormous pain. And it wouldn't be surprised if this is if he's tore a groin or a hip of some sort. Just the way he landed. Actually, it could be a dislocation of the hip, the way he's sort of holding that area. He's in extreme pain.
Calling for a lot of support here at the moment.
Liam Anderson was actually quite concerned as an opposition player. He applied some really heavy pressure, but he knew his opponent was in some pain and tried to help compose him.
Yeah,
just looking for the reaction from the trainers at the moment, of which there are 4 or 3 and a runner. And he's in a bit of bother. So we're going to just put a halt to this game just at the moment. And he's conscious, for friends and family that are listening. He is in some discomfort, and at the moment, it could be a hip.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a strain of, say, a hamstring or a groin. He's holding around that hip area, and it's obviously the way that he landed. He got his leg caught up underneath him as he landed.
It's not a break.
No.
But it appears to be even the way he's sitting, and there
could be his pelvis, guys.
Yeah, and that hip area.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment it is a 19-minute mark. I'm not sure that if it is that hip area that they want to sort of move him a great deal to get him on that stretcher that they're just bringing out at the moment. But perhaps maybe, I'm not sure. We'll just leave that to the experts down there.
We've seen some horrible injuries this year, and as much as we love calling the footy, this is the part that you don't like seeing on a weekly basis. You know, these guys, sometimes we take for granted the amount of work they put in, and it can all finish very quickly for them.
Oh, you can actually hear he's pretty close to us. That affects Mike, obviously picking that up just as he moved and rolled onto the backman now for Byron Vickery. He's in absolute pain. All the Bairnsdale boys have got to him, clapping him off, and he's still in that really awkward sort of position as he's lying on his back with both knees up, in a fair bit of pain. They're holding that leg. I wouldn't be surprised if that is one of those hip dislocations as he goes in underneath. Now they'll take him straight into the rooms as this will get back underway in just a moment. We'll probably add about 5 minutes of play onto this, Paul Carter.
That's at least 2.5 gone. I just marked there.
So we're about to get it back underway here as the margins at the 29 points. Ball comes back into play. Ruck work there was by Cook. Axford tries to get a handball out, does nicely to Klebney. He gets boot the ball going back, nicely done. And Brett Waddell marks it, plays on quickly, goes inboard. Oh, the sun got in the eyes there of Robinson. He was able to give a don't argue on Collins, and then left foot out to open space. Wyatt will be the one, goes up, doesn't quite mark it, does some groundwork. Bulmer's there as well. They try, and now Bulmer wins it. Handballs out of the congested area. Can't quite do so as now Drew and jump on top of each other, and we'll have a ball up 40 metres out from the goals of the Redlegs as they lead it by 29 points. Goes up. No one can really win it. Poppy, I caught him a little bit off guard. Headset not quite ready to go.
He's trying to find out some information about our injured player.
Okay.
But at this stage, all I know is he's in a lot of pain. So we'll follow that up and give you an update at the half-time for those that are interested in knowing, and we'll see how we go now. To be honest, it hasn't affected the way Bairnsdale are playing at the minute. No. They're still playing with some real intensity, and they may have a chance to threaten the goals again. The kick from 55 just offline, that was from Waddell possibly, and just offline. So another minor score, Paul Carter.
Yeah, it's a 30-point margin now. 8-7-55 to Bairnsdale. Druin 3-7-25. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard. 23 minutes played, second quarter.
Well, they've got a Clayton Kingy on his half-back line. Kicks it high towards Anderson. Gets to that front spot. Dog nearly paid that one, but the umpire said no. Others touched it. Can't quite believe it, of course. Both coaches, Ed Morris and, of course, Jordan Kingy, coach and assistant coach, sideline. 2 star players for this Hawk side out. Bairnsdale had their fair share of injuries as well. But this is a great game of football on your Saturday afternoon, as you'd expect, between sides that are fighting to stay alive and are fighting to stay inside the top 5. Rob Popplestone on TRFM for Gippsland Live.
Here we go. They've got the ball, and they've got it through Cowan, the experienced campaigner. Kicks to within 30 metres. Out the back of the pack. Can they get onto it? They can, I reckon. I reckon it's a kick off the ground by Dennison.
Yep.
1 sec.
No.
Touched on the last line of defence. And fortuitously so for the visitors, Druin.
At 8:56, Bairnsdale, Druin 3-7-25.
Axford has it. Defensive 50 for the Hawks in front of the scoreboard here at the City Oval. Just slowing things up. Hasn't really got much options. There'll be a 50-metre penalty.
Oh, he didn't call
play on. And running over the mark was Ben McKinnon. So this will take Axford to about the wing area.
I don't like that. Here we go. There's no one on the mark either.
Yep.
So he'll make the most of this.
He will, Axford. He plays on, goes to the wing area, drives it inside forward 50. Ferguson will present, but McCullum was there, stood his ground, and he's hard to spoil. all of 6'7" that he is.
Yeah,
Bob
great
McCullum.
movement there too by Axford. Like he knew that McCullum was working down there with Hamilton when the 50 was given, and that quick smart play just found McCullum basically on his own, or uncontested anyway, to get that mark inside 50.
So pretty much directly in front. They must get this one for Monticello's. He puts it on its way. It fades from left to right, and it's over for a minor score. Your Greenham Gippsland scoreboard today. Your locally owned operator, processor.
It's a 30-point margin to Bairnsdale, 8-8-56. Druin, 3-8-26.
All right, so here we go, straight down the corridor. Cowan, nicely done. Cowan takes the ball, kicks for goal, just needs to bounce right. And I reckon it bounces right, straight through the middle. Bairnsdale go boom, and they increase the margin. Druin starting to wobble.
They definitely are, and Cowan, he missed the easy one that we thought he would have got, and he's kicked outside 50, and the ball's just bounced through for a great goal to Bairnsdale.
It's a 36-point margin now in Bairnsdale's favour. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard 9-8-62 to Druin 3-8-26, and Bairnsdale scored in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inside 50s.
That's thanks to my loyal fans out there that sent a few messages through to tell you boys to pull your heads in and start
I'm not sure that's
being
what's
nice.
said, but yeah, it's all very well
Loyal
to be
fan. I should say
Fan, there's one of them.
It's all very well to be tough on text.
There's one fan that Boxer has, but he sticks with us. Brian in the middle of the ground.
Yep.
Quick kick there by Harrison Cook to centre half forward.
And it's Boxer's bookie that Boxer owes money to, so of course he's going to be nice.
Tommy Barr for the Hawks now has it on the wing, has one bounce, make it 2. Now his left foot kick goes inside forward 50, looking for Rose, can't quite mark it, play onto the umpire, got one over the shoulder, the umpire said no, we'll ball it up. 49 metres out, they trail by 36 points.
And when I catch up with Peter Mooney, I'll have a word to him too. Anyway, the ball inside forward 50, Druin into attack. We'll see how we go. They desperately need to hit the scoreboard. A big thump forward, but it lands in the arms of Bairnsdale, and what could have been attack now turns into a defence. And Bairnsdale on the other side of the ground through Vickery, in fact, who sent the ball forward. Now Bulmer at left half forward flank. He's dispossessed. Druin can get the handle on it. They can't. It's turned into a 50-50 contest, and when that happens, there's only one bloke that can take the control, and it's the umpire who will ball it up just short of half forward flank, left half forward flank for Bairnsdale.
So the ruck duties here will be in the way of Cook, and taking it there was Collins for Druin. Goes out the back of the pack. Tommy Barr works hard to try and get a clearance, can't do so. 27 minutes have gone. Just repeating, there will be probably 3 or 4 minutes of extra time after Byron Vickery had a serious hip injury. Won't take any further part in this game. Got carried off on a stretcher. From that stoppage was Sean Wyatt to win it for the Redlegs. Gave it across now to Tommy Bryan. Left foot kick goes along the ground. Cowan goes to ground. Then doesn't have the football. The umpire possibly played for that one, and the umpire wasn't having anything to do with it.
I reckon he played for it, but he played for it so well I thought he deserved to get it.
It's got interesting score coming out of Mafra. It's a very interesting score. It's half-time, and it's the Dragon.
You're talking about...
You got to stop watching Game of Thrones, mate.
3-3-21. They lead Mafra 5 straight points.
Ooh. Wow, there we go. Defensive 50, got an interesting game, but it's one-way traffic for the home side at the moment. As Bairnsdale are into attack, they're winning the contested ball at the moment. Those 50-50 contests, they just seem to be working harder. And here's an example of that now. Bust through the pack, left foot kick to within 20 metres by Waddell, and he finds a teammate. Well, they've got the numbers. This should be a walk-in goal.
Oh.
He hit the post. It was Link Robinson, who hit the post. He tried to do what you'll see on TV the AFL players do. Use the bounce of the ball, dribble along the ground. He didn't get a favourable bounce, and now the ball be brought back in.
It's kicked in to find Miller. Greenham Gippsland scoreboard.
It's 9-9-63 Bairnsdale to 3-8-26 Druin.
So Miller went lateral. Found his teammate, who is right up on the half on the defensive 50. Harry Wans as the one goes inboard. She's a good player. I like what I see with Harry Wans. He found Beck and now found Robinson. They got one over the top. Tommy Barr, he can get it over the top again. McCullum's on his own. He's just got to get it to him. He drives his left foot there. McCullum stands and gets it. And he went to go, but closing quickly was Waddell.
Nice passage of play.
It was. I had to move it quick. It was a great work. Harry Wans, for me, has been the most improved player I've seen in the competition this year, and he's been a real standout for Drew in every game we've called. He takes it on with dare, and he uses the ball so well, and he was the one that got Bob McCullum this shot on goal by switching the play. He'll come in from about 40 metres out. He'll have to kick it probably 45 in the end. Slight angle, left foot shot, big moment for Monticello's. It high, it doesn't make it. Wykes touched it. Minor score, Greenham Gippsland scoreboard today.
He sort of just poked at that a touch, didn't he? Just a touch.
6 straight goals lead to Bairnsdale, 9-9 to Druin, 3-9, almost half-time.
Another quick round of grounds. Sale, an accurate Sale, 5 straight 30. They trail Sale 5-7, 37.
12 and 5 goals. Well, Sale 5-7, yeah.
Vickery for the Redlegs, kicked out his defensive 50. Kick a lock across the ground there from Tatnall. Goes over for a boundary throw-in.
And in South Gippsland, Moe 5-6, 36. They lead against Wonthaggi 4-6, 30.
Well, there's some interesting games this early stage, isn't there? A lot of what we thought might happen hasn't. So, and that includes the game we're witnessing right now between Bairnsdale and Drew. Drew and Bairnsdale with a lead at the moment of 36 points. But they're starting to close that in, or close in on reducing that, because they're threatening their forward 50. There'll be a boundary throw-in on the intersection of forward 50 and the boundary line, outer side of the ground. Druin kicking to the town end of the Bairnsdale Recreation Reserve.
Wykes took the ruck duties. Down at ground level there was McKinnon, who kicked it along towards half-back flank. The run there was from Radford, who gave it across to Wyatt. He ran and carried it. Left foot
run
kick.
Out the back.
Dennison was there. Over the back it goes. Is it Somerville? Good tackle by Dennison. Causes the ball to come in dispute again. We're inside forward 50 for the Redlegs. Druin under enormous pressure. They just had to barrel it out and relieve a little bit of pressure. You know what? That's going to come off. Robinson was there. Took the uncontested mark. He can chip it over the top. Found Axford. Runs the Axford, gets to the top of the 50, drives it in to the near side. Working hard at ground level now. Will have to be, is it Collins? It's Simpson down there, and he'll see it over for a boundary throw-in. Poor inside forward 50 kick. That's the difference. Mark's inside forward 50.
It's 3 apiece this quarter, and I think all 3 Druins were Bob McCullum.
Yep. Overall, first quarter certainly favoured.
6-0 Bairnsdale, so it's a 9-3 overall.
Yeah, that's been a difference for me. McCullum just took it out of the ruck, put it on his left boot, sprayed it. Across the face of goal, minor score.
Yeah, well, we've got another score there for you in the VFL W game. It's 3/4 time, 4-3-27 Collingwood. They lead the Melbourne Uni, 3-4-22.
Bairnsdale bring the ball back into play, and on the end of it, I reckon it could be Preston, is it? No, Link Robertson towards that outer side. I should know with that big mop of hair. In fact, I know that this one is Waddell, Brett Waddell, is it? Dylan Somerville.
You're close. No, you keep going.
The two dreadlocks out there.
Yeah, they're pretty high. Those two players.
I know the players I mentioned are on the same side. That's about as close as I got. The ball will be thrown back in, left half forward flank. Druin have got the numbers. Can they get the bounce of the ball? They can't, and as a consequence, it's Cowan who picks it up nicely, settles, kicks to within 30. At the back of the pack, I reckon it could have been Dennison that tried to bring the ball to ground. He couldn't, and Miller is the player that is at the front and held the ball in as the siren goes. 32 and 55 minutes into that second quarter. It's half time here at Bairnsdale Recreation Reserve, and it's the home side that lead 9-9-63. Druin 3 goals 10-28.
You are listening to Gippsland Live. It was 5 goals in that quarter by the Redlegs, and it is Gippsland Live on TRFM for Harvey Norman Electrical.
The freshest way to start the day. Gabby and Dan, the TR Morning Crew.
Do you believe we landed on the moon? In 1969.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh.
Here's the kicker, right?
Yeah.
The audio quality between NASA on Earth
and
the moon